Hi, my name's Chris. I'm the Property Director at Source, but you're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Sarah. So Sarah, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sara, Sara Watkins-Schmidt. I joined Source Living at the beginning in March 2024, and I've come up north to be part of the Source gang, and I just thought we'd have this chat.
So tell us, what were you doing before Source?
Okay, so in a nutshell, I have worked in sales and marketing. I've done a bit of business development. I did some media sales, but I did some commercial estate agency selling hotels and B&Bs in Torbay. So I was a negotiator there. And then I started a property management company with a friend of mine. And then we kind of adjusted it to be cleaning because we saw that very profitable. But it wasn't really what excited me, you know. And then I was approached about Source Living, and it called to me, and I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. I don't know anything about lettings, but I do know about people, and I do know about business development and sales, and I want my entrepreneur side to fly. And I feel that this is what I want to do and how I want to do it.
So it wasn't directly a link. We're sitting in an Airbnb apartment now, which is a great combination of managing properties and a cleaning company.
Yes.
Right. So it wasn't anything like that drew you to Source. What was it that got your attention?
Well, somebody who was part of Sourced knew me from when I was selling hotels and B&Bs, and he approached me and said, "You'd be great at this. This is coming. Would you take the phone call and the pitch and have a listen and everything else?" And I did that, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
And like you say, it wasn't something that you'd done previously. So why was it that package or what Source were going to give you gave you the confidence to take that jump and do something that you hadn't done before?
Well, I was up for learning and finding out something. I knew that now my children had grown up and I could now work full time and put my efforts and my learning into something, and I wanted to build my own business. And I know the success of lettings across where I live and across society, and the fact that it was all there with a framework that I could work with, and that Source would support me with my learning, my knowledge, the CRM, right move, 24-hour phone calls, all that kind of stuff, all the things that came with it. It was like, yeah, this is something I can get on board with. Although perhaps if I got a job, I might have earned more money more quickly, walking into that. But I had no lettings experience, and so if anybody had been a previous negotiator, somebody else, and walked in, then they may have got the job over me, Whereas if it was my business, I was starting it from zero.
But the glass ceiling is much higher.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to pick it up and run with it. And it excited me. And I basically signed the contract the morning of the first day of induction and kind of slid in there with, all right, okay, I'm doing this. Let's do it.
So when was that?
March 24.
March 24. So currently we're almost 2 years down the line from that.
Yeah.
So we'll do an update on where Sarah is now in comparison to when she started, because you started basically with 0 properties under management.
Well, 0 properties, 0 knowledge, 0 contacts. I didn't even live in Taunton, and it was a massive punt.
So many hurdles to overcome, right?
Yeah, but it excited me and it called to me, and that's why. And my business partner, he was brilliant because we had the cleaning business and he was really wanting to go with that, and that was great. But it just didn't light me up like this prospect did. So he supported me, and my husband supported me to say, right, if we want to do this from 0, let's build that and then see. And we'd run the cleaning company running its thing and me doing the lettings. And then Nick kind of helped with a bit of the lettings and developing it in the beginning as well. But then I was enjoying it so much that I've kind of gone on with it. He's super busy with the cleaning company, so now we're working separately, doing our thing, and it was really worth having a go.
So tell us what you've been up to since you joined.
I haven't stopped, and I think everybody knows that. But also, I've been having a good time as well, and I've had lots of fun. I've made lots of contacts. The guys at Sourced and the team are really, really great, and it's been fab to come up here and get the great reception that I get when I come here, and that's really lovely. So after I left the training initially in March 24, I was the first franchisee to get any tenants and use the CRM and use the contracts and all that kind of stuff. So that was groundbreaking. And one of my tenants still lives in the apartment that I put her in, on the 10th of May 2024. So she lives there with her daughter, and that's sweet. So yeah, just a busy time establishing landlords and getting them signed, and then getting tenants in place. And that was at Waterside Place, which was a source development which was sold to individual landlords, and then working with a hospital, and kind of stumbled across the Hinckley PowerPoint accommodation need, which has been very, very interesting. And that's what makes Taunton such a hub, because you've got the large hospital, you've got the power plant, and you've got the community as well. So there's a massive supply and demand requirement there. And then from there, I'd always planned to work with the cleaning company in the summer, because we had to supplement the income as we were building the business. So did a lot of holiday lets and student accommodation and that type of thing, working with both sides. And then I had some other landlords came on with an HMO, which was prepared for the NHS, but the NHS didn't want it. So then we had to kind of remarket it and repurpose it in another. And then early 25, I did my qualification, level 3 in lettings and management. So that was good because I'd been doing the job and I'd been running with the systems and learning and helping Source develop those. But then I wanted to kind of rubber stamp my knowledge, and it's not required in the industry currently to be done, but I felt it was important to do that, especially with just approaching people saying, I only started March last year. I think it gave my new landlords a bit of kind of a boost of what was going on. And then in the summer, I won Franchisee of the Year at the Summit, and that was good fun, wasn't it? So that was good. And then it's just picking up landlords and properties across the way, tenants moving, learning things about maintenance and management and issues and people, and then kind of there we find ourselves again now, really.
So basically growing your letting agency, putting a huge amount of effort in lots of different areas, because where you look for tenants is very different from where you look for landlords. So putting a lot of effort into growing both of those people coming across your desk, and you're marrying them up with the right property. And you're taking your fee in the middle there. Yeah,
absolutely. And then going to networking and growing from being visual and being seen, especially being in a different place to where I live. I knew Taunton quite well, and it's not far from home, but it's a different town. So it's just trying to get a feel for the area and be seen and be known and get a reputation and reviews and all that type of thing. So it was just growing it and getting speed with it, So I'm happy with how we've got there.
So does that take us up to date?
It does, with the expectation of Waterside Place Phase 2, which is coming in spring, early summer. And so that is another 17 units, which should be a tenant find or management aspect as well. So then just completing a 6-bed HMO in Bridgewater, which is a little out of area for me and a little different from my normal kind of demographic, but it's been interesting to do that. And I've never driven so much in the rain, in the dark in all my life. But that's been great. So now I've got 2 HMOs and all the apartments, and then this Waterside Place Phase 2.
So properties that you take care of, and we'll add them into it.
Yes.
Comes to what? How many?
I would say if you include the tenant finds for sourced at the beginning, and then the new sourced ones as well, and the HMO, you're looking at about 65, 70 properties in Taunton from a standing start in, 26 months.
Excellent. So growing organically, how do you think your business is going to fare in the future?
Well, it's helpful being it's really helpful being part of Sourced, because with developing Waterside Place, that gave me something to work with in the beginning. Anything else that comes through the door will be welcomed as well. And then there's the acquisition program as well. So that's quite exciting.
Tell us about that. Wow. What acquisition program?
So we've got the acquisition acceleration program, which Sourced are offering to established agents and franchisees. And so it's fully funded by Sourced, subject to the checks and the due diligence and everything with Martin. Martin's amazing. And Martin will come to the franchisees and offer something that's come for sale from the brokers across the UK.
What has come for sale? You haven't mentioned what it is.
Sorry. So letting agencies.
Yeah.
So basically, Sourced will buy letting agencies for franchisees like myself to grow our business from 50 units that we'll be looking after, 65 units that we're looking after, to 200, 300, 500.
What's how many in the acquisition that you're looking at?
I'm not going to tell you. I've signed a thing and I'm keeping it that way. So there is some things on the bubble, shall we say, that are very exciting. And for me, from coming to this group and my franchise and my new business venture to going forward is just incredibly exciting.
How much of a difference does that make to you, though? Whether you're going to grow your business organically or whether you're going to take an acquisition and add hundreds of units to the properties that you've got under management, what does that actually mean to you?
Me personally?
Well,
or professionally?
As a business, what does it mean to your business, first of all?
As a business, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if your organisation is going to pay for an acquisition, which they wouldn't do unless it made financial sense to do so, and then there has to be a slice for me while I'm doing it, but also once it's paid for, it's mine, and all the profit and all that element is my business and my franchise. That's amazing for the business. And then so where I was in Taunton, and then having several more offices, well, it's just mind blowing, and it's a no brainer if it's being supported by the people that are financing it.
And so if we take that as the whole journey is like a bit of a snapshot. You come on board, you don't have any experience. You learn the ropes by coming to the training courses and doing the training, but then you actually put that into practice, and you learn more when you're putting stuff into practice.
And you try damn hard.
Going out there and doing stuff is when you really understand how to operate a letting agency. You do that for an amount of time, and then you're offered fully funded to buy additional letting agencies where you're buying into established stuff, right? It's not as if you're taking a punt on a new landlord or taking a punt by employing somebody. You know that these properties are well managed, and you know that those landlords and those tenants pay on time because you've got the data to back that up, and you've got staff that are managing them for you. So now your role is much more of a stand back. You've learned the ropes, so you know what they should be doing, and now you just need to oversee that.
But we can all work together to make it even bigger and better and stronger.
Yeah.
And Sourced has gone from a collection of 6 people that were sat in a room initially in March 2024 to Sara was saying this morning is 31, and then it's going to grow even further than that. And then if everybody is going to acquire several more offices and more growth, then I mean, Sourced Living is going to spread like wildfire across the UK. It's amazing.
I keep saying to Sara, it's a rocket ship.
It is.
Everybody's just kind of hanging on to at the moment.
Absolutely, and and I've got my seat firmly in it, and there's not anyone in Sourced Living that doesn't know my journey and what I've done, and I'm very, very proud to be part of the beginning of it and where it's going, and to take everyone with me.
So now let's answer the question of what this means to you personally. And bear in mind, I follow you on social media, so I know how many times you go on holiday already. But personally, what does it mean to you?
Well, it means a huge amount, and I get quite emotional about it. It's been a hell of a journey in the last few years and the last 15 years, and so to go from being made redundant a few times to starting a business and to cleaning holiday lets and to doing all the things that I've done to establish a business, to then be approached by a company to buy a business for me, to then grow and develop and work hard and put everything I've put into my little business into making it so much bigger, to the next phase. And we're not even stopping there. These businesses that we've got and we're going to buy, we're going to make bigger and stronger. And then we're not going to stop there. There'll be more. Well, it's just mind blowing. So yes, okay, I did go on holiday a couple of times last year, and that was very nice. And there's a few planned, little trips here and there. Very good. But from my stumbling across Sourced and taking that punt and all the work that's been gone into it, personally, it's altered my life beyond recognition, which is phenomenal.
So what's motivated you to push so hard?
A desire to succeed and to overcome. I had some really hard times, and my desire to do really well, my desire to bring my children up to be awesome and to be there at the parents' evenings and sports days and all that stuff. That was that key at that point. And then when they got to secondary and they were okay and didn't need me there as complete dependence, I wanted to do something that really stamped that I've done well. And it was just something inside me that I've always wanted to do. And I didn't want to work for somebody else. I have to be made redundant a few times. So I wanted to learn, I wanted to establish, and I always said to friends and that I wasn't qualified for anything. But also I've got sales skills, I've got transferable skills, I've got people skills, and some of those things can't be taught and everything else. So I applied them to all the jobs. I wasn't an electrician, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now
more of a Miss Rabbit from Peppa Pig kind of character.
So definitely like Miss Rabbit, put lots of different hats on, doing lots of different things, and also not scared to learn all these things. And learning really excites me. So whether it's learning to be a letting agent or whether it's learning to look after lots of staff in multiple offices, then that is a new challenge and a new set of butterflies and a new learning, and that is the motivation.
So you're given a couple of options there, but what is your favourite thing about being a Source Living partner?
Genuinely, it is having the team that we work together, but also very much having my own business. So I can lean on everybody and I can phone, and they know my phone number in the HQ now when it comes up on the thing. And they have done for a long time.
There's a big alarm that goes off
every
time.
But for me, I work at home, I work out and about, I go to Taunton, and it's the freedom of working alone and having your own business, but then having connections and contacts and a team and a framework and somewhere to phone when you need it, because I like that, but I also need it as well.
And so where do you see this ending up? Where are you going to be in 10 years' time with this business?
It's very, very tricky to see, because I didn't see the trajectory that we're on when I signed up. I just knew that I wanted to sign up, and that's what I wanted to do.
Did you have a target? Did you have a goal when you first started? By the end of year one, you want this. By the end of year two, you want this.
I would have liked to have had, I think, 30, then 50, then 100, and along that line. So, but I knew that the acquisition program was coming. So to get off the ground and then to learn and then to help Source with the development of the tech and all the bits and pieces, and to really stake, your place to say, this is what I'm doing. And then to win like the thing at the summit and to be part of that, to walk into that hotel that time and for everyone to go, oh, I know you, you're SWS. I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. I didn't know what was going to happen. So to say 5 years or 10 years, ultimately, we're starting with one office, we're buying more offices. It'd be great to have 10 offices. My daughter said the other day that I was always quite good with Monopoly. So I'm kind of choosing my colours and my corners of which bit I'd like. I don't know.
But just using the maths though, isn't it interesting? Isn't it exciting to think you're coming up to your 2-year anniversary, and the growth of the properties under management has sort of gradually, organically gone up. And then you're going to get to about 2 years, then it's going to go like that. And then it'll probably plateau for a while you get used to that and you get everything in place that you need to. And then in another couple of years, it could boost up again because you take on another acquisition. And so when you work that out over 10 years, that's a lot of properties under management.
That's right. But it's also about my lifestyle and my life, and so if I can have a good life while we've all got this going on, and everybody as part of Source Living and all the staff that I work with and all the offices and people involved, if everybody can do well and adapt to the changes that are happening in rentals and the property market, and we can make our kind of agencies how we want them to be going forward, then, and to be part of that is really, really cool. It's really good.
Thanks very much. It's been lovely to see you again. Thanks for spending the time with us today. Maybe we'll check back in with you when your acquisition's landed and we can actually hear about some of the numbers and how you're getting on with it.
Yeah, always happy to come and visit and everything. And you're always welcome to come down my way as well, so come and see what I'm up to and what's happening and how we go. I just can't put it to words because we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sarah.
Thank you.